Well, Richard, it's nice to meet you. It was nice connecting with you over Twitter. So I'm glad we were able
Yes.
to make this happen. So let's go. Let's just go back a little bit. How did it come about? Like, were you when you were auditioning for the Flash? Was this like a secret role, or what happened?
It was actually. I had no idea the person I was auditioning for was obviously a pre-existing character in the comics, which obviously brings and the universe of the show. Actually, I came to find out much later. Yeah, I auditioned for a role called they just called him Razor at the time. And I remember thinking it was a lot of fun. And I remember thinking that there's no possible chance that I could book this. He's like a fighter and he's a scrap. Like, I'm not that big of a guy. So I just decided, like, screw it. I'm just going to have fun with it. I wish, like, maybe one day I can release the tape for it because that was a lot of fun. I just went in. I was just whistling Christmas tunes in the middle of scenes and just doing whatever the heck I wanted to do. And clearly the powers that be saw it and ended up thinking, you know what? That's our Captain Boomerang. The rest, as they say, is history. And I had so much fun playing him. Obviously, once I got the role and they're like, he's an existing character in the comics and in the universe of the show, then obviously a little bit of fear kicks in on that because obviously these characters are very well cared for, you know, by the fans and people who read the comics and watch the show, and they have it in their head a certain type of Captain Boomerang they want. And I guarantee you, I don't think I'm everybody's Captain Boomerang, but I really appreciate that everyone kind of has been welcoming me with very open arms and the type of Captain Boomerang that my Owen Mercer is.
Yeah, because I will. Here's how I can show my appreciation for you was because Owen Mercer was someone I thought we would never see. You know, I thought, oh, you know, they had Captain Boomerang on Arrow, they killed him off.
Yeah,
we're done, I guess. So when because I actually heard that you were coming on the show before that even announced this. I'm like, they're doing Owen finally. I'm finally getting Owen Mercer, and then I see you in the costume, and I lost it. I'm like, oh, this came off so well. So were you a comic book fan before this, or like did this kind of get you into DC once you booked the show?
Not for I hadn't read any. I didn't grow up as a massive comic book fan. I was big into, like, not to say I wasn't around that kind of circle. I played a lot of Warhammer as a kid. I did like Lord of the Rings Warhammer. That was sort of my deal growing up. I still have all the pieces in my closet over there.
Sweet.
But no, I have friends that are, and I think a few of my friends freaked out when they found out that when I told them I was doing the Flash, and they're like, "Who are you playing?" I was like, "Captain Boomerang," and they're like, "Oh my, what?" They even had, like, some of my friends had a little bit of a reaction of like, "Oh, I don't know if I like you as Captain Boomerang." I was like, "Thanks, guys." It's very
wow.
very good. No, listen, man, you're great. You're a great actor. I just don't know if you're my Captain Boomerang.
Well, I mean, again, because it looks like you were having so much fun with it, and you're just like, you know, again, coming in very, he comes in very cocky, which I love, because you're Captain Boomerang. He is like, I mean, again, with all due respect, Captain Boomerang is quite a name, but yeah, you see how badass he is, how funny he is, and how confident he is, and so on. Especially with all the, because I wasn't expecting you to have all this high tech and whatnot. Especially because we learned in this episode that Bruce Wayne himself, Wayne Tech, is hooking you all up. So that's pretty dope. I have to ask because in the comic, I know Owen has a dynamic, or he is tied to the original Captain Boomerang. Is that something we hear about at all during the show? Because in the last, I think, first 3 episodes, they keep saying new Captain Boomerang, new Captain Boomerang. I'm like, so is there anything there?
I don't know I don't know if I can say yes or no to that. I don't know even if it was a yes that we would spend too much time thinking about it with everything else that is coming up in the coming episodes, and how much there are so many other characters to focus on in the middle of everything that we've got going on. And that was kind of what the blessing was for me in taking a load of that pressure off, was that there's so many other amazing characters that they bring in. No spoilers on that either, but to the point where that kind of that cockiness and that fun that I was able to have as Captain Boomerang got to go full level, because I'm like, everybody else here is helping lift me up. So I can just run these zingers. They let me like ad lib and add things that weren't in the script, and I have to give all of the showrunners and the writers and the directors so much credit for allowing the cast to have as much fun as they did in this season. I felt very welcome, and like working opposite Grant and everything was just fantastic.
Can you retell that first day you got on set and were in full costume and so on? Because I know you came from a very, very different show like the 100, where it was very much military gear and whatnot. But here's like it's costume, it's comic book and so on. So like, can you like recap that first day?
Absolutely. Well, I'm going to bring it back even further than the first day. We had, I think, 4 different costume fittings for Boomerang, which you wouldn't even think about, because it's like, well, it looks fairly normal. It's not like a hero or villain kind of, super suit, so to speak.
Very casual.
Specific. Yeah, it is so, because it does look like normal clothing that people could find in a store, but it is not. It is absolutely not. That jacket is. I'm so mad I didn't get to keep the jacket. They said no, because it was custom made, tailor made for me. Like, they just took my measurements, did everything to spec. We did 4 different fittings, got that thing, and like when I finally got a chance to go back and see some of Boomerang in the comic books and see just how spot on that they had it, was incredible, and just shows you the kind of the attention to detail that everybody who works on the show has, even in their 9th season. Like, you would think that maybe they'd, you're like, rest on your laurels a little bit. And I can assure you that nobody on the show was. But then first day, getting in there and getting to meet Grant, which is crazy because Grant and I actually had never met before, but we had run around each other for many, many, many years in this town, obviously with me being on the 100 and him being on the Flash. And there was one day years ago that I would have met him, that he was hanging out with some of my castmates going laser tagging, I think, if I remember it correctly. And I was supposed to meet him that day, but I was sick and I didn't go and meet him, or else I would have met him already. But it was amazing coming in, seeing him in the suit. I mean, I have some behind the scenes photos someone took for me that maybe I'll share one day. That I always
do a photos on Instagram.
Yeah, I just might. I think one day I will. But immediately that feeling of comfort crept in. Like, he's such a great. I think the only way that a show can go 9 seasons is if you have a very great leader at the helm of it, and they have many, all the way from crew to like this one I'm specifically referring to, Grant, as your number 1. You couldn't ask for really a better number 1. He comes in, he has fun, but he doesn't have too much fun. He's there to work. He makes everyone feel comfortable, and him and I got on like a house on fire. Like, I really, really enjoyed working with him and having fun with him.
Yeah, no, I saw some of because obviously there were set photos and set videos and so on. But again, I'm just like, they look, they're having so much fun. And that first episode, because you're doing a time loop episode, so you're having to do a lot of things over and over again. But I'm like, it looked hilarious.
Yeah, sometimes in the same take, it would just be like, okay, and now we're on the second one, and Grant and I would be like, which one was that? Is it the one where I call him a dumbass, or I say that I'm his worst nightmare? Which one is it?
In this episode that we are about to see on Wednesday, you get to, because again, this is like for me as a big Flash fan, a dream come true, seeing so many rogues together. You get to meet so many different characters and actors at the same time. How much fun did you have doing that? Because this is something that we don't get to see a lot on the show. We haven't even seen in the past couple of seasons a lot of rogues coming together. So this is a huge deal.
Yeah, I think that they let us know that on the show, that this was quite a big occasion. It was fun. But it was fun. I'll speak primarily just to the working process of it all. It was fun just because everyone there is amazing. Everyone's so kind and lovely. And it was the first time I got to work with Magda, who plays the fiddler. We had done 3 other shows together in our careers. We've known each other for years, since Caprica, all the way back then. But this is the first time we ever had to share scenes together, which was a ton of fun. And yeah, Grant and everybody on that side, everyone on the good guys side, bad guys side, and we all just had so much fun together. And it kind of takes the pressure off when you have that. It makes the days complicated to have that many people in scenes, because you got to get coverage for everybody. So it's going to be a long day. Everyone kept their spirits high, but at the same time, as an actor, it's sort of like, all right, everybody gets their one sentence and just like run around the circle. Who's got the best one line, and then we'll all play and fight and have a good time. It's like summer camp.
Yeah, because just that moment when like you guys are all in costumes, you're about to fight, and Red Death comes. I'm like, I mean, at some point you must kind of feel like, oh my god, this is so real. I get to do this for a living, right?
I think every day that I've been doing this for 21 years, and I think every day that I get to spend on set on any set is an oh my god, I get to do this for a living moment for me, and it constantly will be.
Well, this episode kind of also explores a little bit more why some of these rogues are working for Red Death, but I'm still kind of curious, like what their connection is between Red Death and Owen. What can you tease about that as we go into the next couple episodes?
I don't know how much I'm allowed to say. I have a list of not allowed to disclose.
No, I understand.
1 second. Why don't I just look at it right now and not turn my phone to you? Is there anything that says? Nope, seems pretty okay. I don't know how much we're gonna get into like the why I've been I'll tell you my thought process of why. And it could be very different, but obviously, we're not told everything as actors. So sometimes you have to create your own reasons as to why you're doing anything. I think for me that Owen, they kind of go into it in the first episode that he's just like, he's not the biggest dude, and he's gotten his ass kicked by bigger inmates in Iron Heights for years. And now he's out. He's been funded by this much richer benefactor, obviously. And now he actually has the capability to win. He also knows how to get his ass kicked. So like pain doesn't matter much to him, which is why you see him get knocked over the car. And he's just sort of like, okay, like I've been used to getting hurt, but now he's just enjoying doing the hurting so badly that he doesn't care what he does or why he's doing it. I kind of played him with like, he has no reason for wanting to. He just sort of does want to inflict pain and be the new big bad monster on the block because he feels like he can. Not even realizing that, like, hey, man, there's a bigger, badder monster above you.
I wanted to ask because all the action elements, because I know that when you actually throw the boomerangs, they're obviously CGI, whatever and so on. But like, yeah, but like how much training did you have to do just to kind of like make the swings work and so on?
Oh,
not like this, of course. But,
zero.
Okay.
You just get on set, and then they have amazing stunt people, so they would just tell me like, hey, and like a bunch of them I knew from the 100 as well. There's so much crossover between that. We'll freeze, and then someone will come in. I'll have my boomerang, and we're frozen, and then a crew member will walk in, Jeff, and then Jeff will take it out of my hand, and I'll still be frozen. Grant will be frozen, and then he'll very slowly leave the scene, and then they'll go and reaction, and then I finish throwing, and Grant's gone. And then we'll refreeze and I'm frozen again. And then Grant will walk to a different area in the location. It's a very different type of acting. That's what I realized day one, that Grant helped me realize. And he's like, yeah, different than what you're used to. And I was like, yeah, I'm just so like antsy because I want to keep going. And he's like, yeah, but we can't. And I was like, no, obviously I know that. So that it comes with its own difficulties. But at the same time, a new experience is a new experience. And I was so grateful to see what else, like what it's like on the other side kind of thing.
Yeah, because I forgot that the 100 was also in Vancouver, and like you said, those two shows are just so. The 100 is like, it's nonstop. Whereas with the Flash, naturally things have to slow down just to catch up with everything. So, and now you said it, you have learned the experience for a future job. Like, is the comic book, is there something you would like to revisit it? Whether it's DC or that other company, the rivals, whatnot.
Yeah. We won't mention anybody. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I just want to work. That's the most important thing to me. I just love doing my job. That's it. I will do it in any way, shape, or form. Horror, action, drama, comedy. I'll do it.
I know you said they wouldn't let you keep the coat. Did they give you at least a boomerang or something?
I won't name names. Somebody on set took a boomerang and dropped it.
Okay.
Dropped it.
Dropped. Mm-hmm.
People were leaving. I thought why is that boomerang? What's it just going to do? Sit on the ground, right?
Yeah, we can't. We don't want to trash the nature. We want to keep the streets clean.
So I picked it up, ready to give it back to props. In the right thing to do. And the damnedest thing happened is I must have just forgot it in my pocket.
Your Uber came and you had to go.
And it may or may not be in my apartment with me right now.
Oh, damn. Okay. Well, listen, things come up, like your Uber driver was probably just waiting and you have to get to the airport or, something like that.
Yeah.
Things happen. Things happen.
If Eric or any of the bosses are listening to this podcast, I'm sorry.
What are they going to do? They're not going to, they can't fire you. So,
kill me.
It's Hollywood. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. No, I know the showrunner. I'm sure he'll be fine with it.
So lovely.
So what in these last couple episodes? What I get once we wrap up this arc, is that it for Owen, or like might we see you later in the season? Because they do the whole graphic novel format.
I don't know anything.
Okay, so you haven't filmed anything else.
I know nothing.
Okay.
I know nothing at all.
So you haven't filmed anything else?
I've filmed other things other than The Flash since The Flash, but I don't know if I'm going to film any more on The Flash. I don't even know if they're still shooting. I would say
the finale.
I would always be open to bringing Owen back if they would have me back. Whenever I stop being around, if I do.
Okay.
Does any of that
well, they did. That makes sense. They just started filming the finale, I think, this week or today.
How about that?
So, how about that? So, get on another flight, or or something like that. That's always possible.
You let them know I'm back in Vancouver if they want me.
You live in Vancouver? Is that?
I do. This is my
okay.
home.
Well, there you go. It's a nice home, and so you're close. You're close. So yeah, why not just listen, for the Sears fan? I think the Rogue should come back somehow, right? Mess up with Barry a little bit.
I think so.
I think so too. What is there anything you want to? Because people will be watching this on the when this comes out. Is there anything you want to tell Flash fans? Maybe even your 100 fans? Because I had a lot of passionate 100 fans come into my mention when I told them I was going to talk to you. So anything you want to tell them? Go for it.
I just to the Flash fans, thank you for having me. Any feeling you feel towards me, feel it to 100%. Feel it through. Hate me, love me. Boomerang's here for it. Boomerang loves it. To the 100 fans, thanks for still sticking around. And to everybody else, watch Fakes on Netflix.
There you go.
Boom.
Is that what you else have coming up that you can promote?
Yes,
because I was going to ask you what else.
Just came out in early September, and we would love to do the season 2. So if everyone would watch Fakes, that would be amazing.
Well, there you go. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Richard, and thank you for doing so much fun with Owen Mercer. Because again, I never thought we would get him. I thought it was like, okay, it's season 9, it's over, and then I got the note. I'm like, yes. So.
I'm in. And thank you for liking me. I was so responding to you on Twitter. I was like, oh, thank God.
Oh, but of course. Listen, to anyone else who were watching these episodes, if you're not showing him love, go do it, because right now Twitter is a place that exists, and we need to make it better.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.